the legendary Dr. Kirby. These amazing students, very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be here with my colleagues, future councilmen's term in terms of this campaign. I was inspired to get involved in public service based on the example of Norma. I grew up in the South Ward. My mom was 19 when she gave birth to me. She was not ready. I had my first child when I was married at the time at 30, and I wasn't ready. So probably still not ready for the two babies that God was supposed to do. But she did the best she could do. Unfortunately, I would lose my mom to gun violence at a young age. My father was not around, but the people of Newark basically put me on their back. My community put me on their back. I received love, expectation. People believed in us. My grandmother, who was working very hard to raise a 10-year-old boy and a 6-month-old little girl, when she thought she was finished after she raised her kids, she needed help. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Newark was there for me. That was a place where I spent many of hours after school when my grandmother was at work, and it was a safe place. It was a place where Newarkers came, most of whom were volunteers, and they were pouring love and opportunity into young people. They did that for me. They did that for thousands of other young people who walked through that door. In 1988, I was in there playing basketball, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and they said, "We want you to fill out this paperwork." And I filled it out, and I was told a few weeks later I was going to some place called Seton Hall Prep. I didn't know what that was. My grandmother didn't know what that was. But she said, "You're going to get on the 99, you're going to go downtown." I was on the 73, and they had a little blazer with a little cardigan and all of that. And I didn't necessarily, I didn't think that was hot to wear that, but I was told that was what I was going to wear. And I walked through those doors, all they talked about was college. All they talked about is you've been created by God to do amazing, limitless things. And we're going to push you into that. And we're going to push you into that not really for yourself, but so that you can be a blessing for other people. 4 years later, they had talked about college all this time. We had no money. No, my family went away to college. How am I going to pay for college? I was again in a Boys and Girls Club. I got tapped on the shoulder again. They said, "Fill out this paperwork." I filled it out. And I was told a few weeks later, you're going to get a full scholarship to wherever you want to go to college. You have to pay 1 penny. And so I fast forward, that was in 1992. I fast forward 21 years after I graduated from law school. And while basically everybody I went to law school with at Columbia went to big firms and big companies and made a lot of money, I came back home to represent Newarkers for free, which is what I've been doing for the last 14 years. Civil rights work, education work, mortgage fraud, domestic violence. I lost my mom to domestic violence. I've done a lot of work in that area, a lot of education work. We've sued the state repeatedly for not providing enough funding for our schools in Newark. We did special ed cases where the state and the district doesn't provide the resources for special ed that our kids need. I'm very strong believer. Education changed my life, so I've been fighting my whole career for educational transformation. We founded a public charter school called Team Academy in 2001 with just a vision on a piece of paper about what we do for kids. And folks talk about what we couldn't do, and that wasn't possible. 12 years later, it's one of the great testaments to what we can do for our young people, not only in this city, not only in this state, but in this country. I've also spent time as a prosecutor. I was the Assistant Attorney General for the state of New Jersey. Under Governor Corzine, I was third in the department. We oversaw the crime plan for the state of New Jersey. We reduced crime 3 years in a row throughout the state. We took half the families who were in foreclosure through the first statewide mortgage mediation program in the country. We got families out of foreclosure. We doubled the graduation rate for kids in our juvenile prisons. These are kids that others had written off. We reduced recidivism by 26% through targeted programs, job training, vocational programs for folks who made some choices that got themselves on the inside. And so I serve because of what Newarkers showed me. And it's not even just the kind of the things I've talked about structurally through organizations like the Boys and Girls Club. I'd be in college. Again, I'm the first in my family to go away to college. I would get everything from toothpaste in the mail, love letters from home in the mail, Deaf Video Jam, Deaf Comedy Jam videos so I could laugh while I was down in campus. The people who know put me on their back. And all of us here were honest. None of us got here by ourselves. We got here because a parent, a guardian, a neighbor, a teacher, probably all the above, strangers, poured love and opportunity into your life. When I think about the city of Newark, we have an amazing city with amazing people, but we have many struggles. Our crime rate is out of control right now. We don't have enough job opportunities for our people. Our schools have made some strides. We have a long way to go. And so I'm in public service because I feel a debt of gratitude to the people who basically created me. In the neighborhood in which I grew up, people aren't getting opportunities to go to Duke University and Columbia Law School. And I know that opportunity was a blessing that fell into my lap. I didn't have anything these other young people didn't have. Most of them were smarter, were stronger, were tougher. They didn't get the opportunity. And so I believe it's an obligation for every one of us in this room to make sure that every young person in this world, and more locally the people we come in contact in this community, have every opportunity possible to fulfill all of the potential that God has placed in them. And I'm very excited to participate in this conversation.